What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It has been a minute since I made a video, but today we are back and I've been working on a little something for you guys. So today we are going to be talking about Freemasons. And so recently I got super kind of like obsessed and into researching what I consider to be, like secret organizations or secret societies and things like that. And I ran into the Freemasons because they're pretty well known. I feel like most people know of Freemasons at least, and that many people that were important throughout our history were Freemasons. For example, Benjamin Franklin was a Freemason. There's a few other people that are Freemasons. We'll get to that soon, but that's kind of how I was first introduced to Freemasons. And so Freemasons actually turn out to be a fraternal organization, which means basically they are a frat. They are actually the world's oldest frat. It started in the Middle Ages in Europe as a guild of skilled builders. So in today's modern sort of Freemason activities, I guess you could say, there is two kind of branches or philosophies of Freemasons. So the first one that you have is just the regular Freemasonry. There is a scripture that they basically follow, and you're supposed to believe in a supreme being, so they all kind of believe in God. There's no women that are allowed to be in the frat, basically. It's kind of like how I think of it, kind of like the Old Testament and the New Testament of the Bible. So you kind of have the old way of doing things, and a sort of group of the Freemasons will follow the old first way of doing things. And then they kind of have Continental Freemasonry, which is like newer. It's like the hip version of the old stuff. So basically it's like the New Testament. So I think they might allow women maybe. A lot of the other restrictions and stuff, they took those away, so it's kind of easier to follow. So that's kind of the difference between the two. You can basically be like an old head doing it, or in the new school, they got like a different way of viewing all that stuff and doing all that stuff. So those are kind of the two forms of practice in today's modern age. Now, so back to Freemasons that I'm sure we all know of. Maybe if you don't even realize these are Freemasons, they actually are. So like I said, Benjamin Franklin was a Freemason. George Washington was a Freemason. Even Mozart was a Freemason. Mark Twain was also a Freemason. So as you can see, a lot of these people that are pretty prominent, even in all sorts of different areas, whether it's like politics, art, all sorts of things, are actually Freemasons, which I think is kind of interesting. And in modern day, there is about 2 million Freemasons. And what kind of made me want to film this video is like, I was seeing it all around. So like in the town I live in, I'll show you guys some of the footage right now. I went and recorded it. My town has a Freemason sign next to the town that I live in. So that is kind of interesting. I would see Freemasonry or the Masonic symbol on like bumper stickers on cars in front of me. I would see it in front of people's houses. I was kind of seeing it all over the place, so that's what made me kind of want to look into it more. But if you guys don't know the symbol of Freemasonry, I will also put them up right now. They are usually the compass with like a G in the middle is usually the symbol for Freemasonry. I kind of wanted to touch more into the philosophy, or kind of like what they do, like what are they doing in their lodges and at their meetings. What's the point of being a Freemason? So in Freemasonry, there's degrees, and I kind of think of it as just like college degrees, basically. It's like their own way of helping you learn the knowledge for the different degrees. So the 3 degrees or different levels of being a Freemason, you have the entered apprentice, you have fellow craft, and you have a master mason. Those are like the 3 levels of a Freemason that you can be, basically. When you enter Freemason as a new apprentice, they kind of teach you how you should divide your time throughout the day. So by doing that, they have this 24-hour inch gauge or whatever that they call it, that they use to divide the time. So they think 8 hours should be dedicated to God or a distressed worthy brother, which basically means like helping out other Masons maybe, or maybe just people of the community, or a God. So you're supposed to be spending 8 hours doing that. The other 8 hours, you're supposed to be working, your job or whatever, and then you get 8 hours to sleep. So it's a pretty strict sort of regiment that they're on. They're working and then, praying to God and then sleeping, and you're just doing that apparently all the time. So I don't know, personally I think that would get a little bit old, but hey, maybe 8 hours of devoting your time to God could be pretty fun. I'm not really sure what that entails, so I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of what how they view you should split your time. So kind of things like that, just sort of ways. It's kind of like a path or a philosophy on how you should live life, how you should move through life. That's kind of what they try to teach you at these lower levels. At least that's kind of the vibe I was getting from the research I was doing. Obviously, I'm not a Freemason and I don't go to these lodges, so I don't know exactly what they're teaching. If a Freemason is watching this, this is just what I was able to find on my digging. You know, you guys are kind of secretive, I guess, so there's only so much information out there, so I apologize if this isn't totally correct, but I'm doing my best. So we will talk about the second degree, which is the Fellowcraft degree. This is one step up from the apprentice we were just talking about. So many Freemasons consider this second degree among the most moving ceremonies in the craft, which I don't really know what the ceremonies are like, but apparently moving to the second one, your second degree, is the most enriching experience I've heard for your ceremony, I guess. During this degree, the Freemason, he delves deeper into the philosophies and symbolism of the craft. So at this level, they learn the working tools of a Mason, which a Mason uses to build his moral character, guiding him in his conduct and interactions with others. They also learn the twin Masonic pillars. These are the symbolic entrance to a deeper and more complete understanding of Masonic enlightenment. And apparently they have some sort of wages or something that involve corn, wine, and oil, which are critical to ancient stonemasons, and these were symbols to teach a Mason that he is entitled to rewards for his honest labor as a responsible man. I don't really know too much about that. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay, they're into corn, wine, and oil. I don't know if they're still doing that. Or what. But upon reaching this Fellowcraft second degree level, you kind of get some perks because now you're not an apprentice anymore. You're a Fellowcraft, you're a second degree. So with that comes a little bit of perks that they give you. So upon completion of the second degree, a brother is now eligible to attend lodge meetings of the entered apprentice and the Fellowcraft Masons. While they are not yet eligible to enter the meetings of the Master Masons, he may begin his preparation for the third and final degree by putting into practice the lessons he has learned as an apprentice and Fellowcraft. It kind of works in a way as in all of the meetings previous to your level, you're allowed to go to. So if you're a Fellowcraft, you're allowed to go to Fellowcraft meetings and apprentice meetings. But if you're an apprentice, you can't go to Fellowcraft meetings. You can only go to the apprentice meeting. Now let's go ahead and talk about the final degree, which is the Master Mason. This is the final level of Freemasonry. As the final and the highest honor in Freemasonry, the Master Mason degree symbolizes a man's maturity through increased knowledge and wisdom. It is the accumulation of all he has learned through the first degrees, including how to prepare for spiritual enlightenment through the craft's teachings. In this final degree, the candidate now learns to act with courage, fidelity, devotion to his God. So this one is more tapped into the spiritual plane. So once you get up to here, it's more spiritually focused. There's a story of Haram Abef, I hope I'm saying that right, but he is a moving allegory expressing the importance of fidelity and the inevitability of death. The lost word is another thing that they learn, and that represents a Freemason's never-ending search for light, truth, and connection with his God. And new core Masonic symbolism, including the beehive, trowel, hourglass, and many others, is what they will learn. So they'll learn some different symbolism, they'll learn stories to help them, understand different concepts and philosophies, and this all comes with, the third final degree that you have. As a Master Mason, you also get some more privileges, just like the Fellowcraft did. A man is free to follow his own path in the craft as a Master Mason and is entitled to the full benefits of the membership. He can study in greater depth the philosophy that underlies our ceremonies and aspire to leadership positions in his lodge and the greater Masonic community. While a Master Mason is the highest rank in Freemasonry, many brothers choose to continue their study training in the craft by joining different bodies such as the Scottish Rite, the New York Rite, the Shrine, and among others, which is basically just another way for you to further your education within their sort of thing that they got going on, I guess. But yes, that is technically the overall thing of it. So basically what I took from this is that it's not as cool as I thought it was. No shade to the Masons out there, but I'm just saying it's definitely not a secret organization or cult that's like ruling the world low-key or something. Well, maybe they are, but at least it doesn't seem like that to me. It kind of just seems like a cult for old white men to talk about how they think they should live and be in touch with God, which I'm totally cool with. I mean, if you're a Mason and it's impacted you in a good way, that's an awesome thing. But that's kind of just what it seems like to me. It just seems kind of like a community of people who all got together, all believe in the same thing, and they kind of use this, kind of like how other people use religion. You know, some people need religion to help them, show them how to live and show them how to treat people, whereas, you know, maybe religion doesn't work for some people, so they connected better with the Masons, and the Masons, you know, showed them how to live and how to be a responsible man and all that. So it's basically another way for people to be a part of something that they believe in, and hopefully for the greater good of everyone, and bring out the best within themselves. And that's kind of what I got from my research with them. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys maybe learned a little something. If you were curious about the Freemasons, I hope maybe this answered some of your questions. And if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments below, and maybe some Freemasons will see your question and ask, or I can maybe try to help you if I do know. But I hope that maybe gave you guys some insight. So thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love.